I don't know. I think she kind of is.
All right, good evening, folks. We are back live at the Potomac Curling Club at the National Capital Curling Center here in beautiful Laurel, Maryland. It is on the outskirts of the Washington metro area, or part of the greater Washington metro area, whichever you prefer. I will be controlling the cameras as best as I can. It's Janine Green, and on my left, the very, very intelligent.
Well, you must be talking about someone else. So
I meant Bo Doer.
I can't even find us
No?
on YouTube right now.
Uh-oh.
Um,
Okay, hold on. Let me go back. To see. Web broadcast.
oh, there we go. 2 watching.
Yay.
Okay.
And we count as one of those, I'm sorry to tell you. Okay.
All right. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sort of hum theme music until we have more viewers. How do we have only 1 watching? How is that possible? No, I'm watching.
Oh, wait, I also have us over here.
Okay, so now we're up to 4. I think 3 of them are us. So I'm trying to remember. Okay, so the dude with the pizza pants was
That would be Mr. Paul Luthi.
Mr. Paul Luthi, because they do not tell us who is
Yellow or red.
yellow or red.
In
So
fact,
I'm
we
going
need to figure that out quickly.
Okay, so yellow is Paul Luthi.
And he's which team?
Oh, he's filling in for somebody. So I don't know.
Not helping.
No, that's not helping at all.
Figure out who's yellow and red.
I'll get these 2 sheets.
Yeah, all 4.
Okay.
We have someone who is going to assist us specifically with that. Who's yellow, who's red?
Well, I can tell you this, actually. Carol Voss is on the yellow team on sheet A, so that is Achilles Peel. That is
Okay.
yellow.
All right. All right. We have sheet A, kick your asterisk as red, Achilles Peel as yellow. I know we have sheet C, Fellowship of the Rink is red, Deep Tzatziki is yellow.
We'll have it straight by the time we get some
goodness.
viewers.
He's good.
Okay, and sheet D, Sweeping Generalization is red, Hip Hop Acropolis is yellow. And sheet B, our feature sheet, is what we need to figure out next.
No problem.
There. Okay. Terry Smith is the
Terry
skip.
Smith is Techni Alipias. Did we get sheet C?
Yes, we do. We have it correct on the screen now.
Okay, sheet C, Fellowship of the Rink, is in red.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Ken.
Sorry, Ken's trying to figure out sheet A, and I already did figure that out.
Right, sheet A, kicking, yeah.
It's B, we're a little. Okay, here comes Pam Smith, and her skip is Terry Smith, and she's throwing a yellow stone, so Techni Alipias is yellow, and Strange Brew must be
red. It's really cool. On my spreadsheet that I'm using for this, they alternate red, yellow. So I am in very good shape. That means I don't have to think quite as much.
And we appreciate that because the
That's right.
steam just builds up in the room here. Okay, we have a frozen camera, so.
Hi, Dad, says Noel.
Who's Noel? Is that one of yours?
No. Go, Dad, go. Noel, please tell us who your dad is, and we will happily hold up a sign
Okay.
or something.
We have a frozen camera. Hold on.
It's frozen and it won't. There it is.
All right, in another minute or so, I will give people one more minute to get
Okay.
online before I do official introductions and tell you who is on what sheet. Of course, they're going rather quickly already. I think everyone is revved up from dinner.
We have a camera that's frozen, so we will make do. Apologies for the delay. Here we go. Pam, looks like Pam Smith is up again for her team. Okay, sweeper's on it right away. And yeah, you can see I had to switch over and it went right through. Oh, we got that camera back.
All right, when we have 10 people, I will introduce everybody. Of course, granted, this is an all Potomac session, so.
On sheet B.
No, on all of them.
Oh, you're kidding. All?
All of them.
How'd that happen?
Don't know. I guess all the Potomac people had to be here, had to be sure they're here for the trivia contest after this is all done or something. So, again, when we have 10 people, you know what, I'm going to, so I can quit going back and forth, I'm going to.
Okay, this is the camera that became unfrozen for us. That's, I'm glad to announce. Okay, in case you weren't sure, this is the 4th draw of today, Saturday, the 23rd of November. This is day 2 of our Embassy Row 2019 Bonspiel. And this year's concentration or focus is on Greece. We have had Greek food Friday and all day today and will tomorrow. And I'm telling you, Bo, the food has been fantastic.
The empty plate at my knee, I think would tell you the same thing.
Says it all, yes. And I know there are many people who went back for seconds and just devoured it because just good stuff.
Okay, so when we have 10 people, I will introduce everybody.
Okay, we have a little bit of an issue here. All right, the Yellowstone knocked into the red one near the front of the house. Unfortunately, as it moved aside, one of the sweepers happened to be standing there, so they're going to decide. Okay, I guess the decision was to just take it out of play. That happens. You just get both teams to agree, both skips to agree, and that's where you go.
As the spirit of curling, which I actually wrote about this week at NBC, shameless plug, when they had the curling kerfuffle known as Broomgate at the European Championships.
Oh, explain that briefly.
So what happened was that Norway was well ahead of England. This is on the men's side. Norway was well ahead of England, as you would expect, since Norway is one of the sport's traditional powers. England was just happy to be in the A division for a year. And Norway was well ahead, and they decided, you know what, we're going to put our alternate in, have him throw for a little bit. Apparently, the Norwegians were under the impression that each player would use a specific broom, no matter what the situation. The official rule books of the World Curling Federation say that if a substitute comes into the game, that substitute must use the same broom head as the person the substitute is replacing.
Oh.
So they did not do that. The umpires informed them of the error after a couple of rods had gone. Norway duly changed out the brooms, and then went on for a fairly routine win, came off the ice and found out that they would forfeit the game. And by the literal reading of the rules, that was the correct decision. It says specifically that is the penalty is forfeiting. But
wow.
Norway was under the in curling, we're not sort of used to, the spirit tends to override the letter of the law. Certainly no one from Norway intended to cheat. They were winning a game rather handily, and it proved very costly for Norway. They wound up in a tie for the playoff spots and lost the tiebreaker. So if they had won one more game, they would have been in the semifinals.
Wow.
For England, it was their only win of the Bonspiel, although they were actually pretty close in a couple of games. So credit to England, and England certainly didn't want to win that way.
No.
That's just how it worked out.
That's a shame, Bo. I mean, I would have been on the side of the Norwegians saying, hey, even if the judges didn't catch it early enough, that, well.
Yeah, and
I feel bad for the Norwegians.
right, and most people who tweeted about it, including an awful lot of curlers, were, a lot of serious curlers, said, what in the world was going on? Why do you do that? Why do you, that's not the spirit of our game. So I think it, hopefully a learning experience for a lot of people involved to say, look, you need to
Pay attention.
pay attention, and maybe when you have a skips meeting beforehand, remind people of rules like that. Of course, putting an alternate into action is not something that comes up very often. The alternates are usually not in action, of course. The alternates usually kind of sit there. And we actually had one of our very own, Elizabeth Demers, who was in Potomac Curling Club when she lived in the area, was the alternate for Stephanie Seneker's team that was in the U.S. Championships, which was an interesting team, and they had one person, including Elizabeth, one person from every decade. They had a teenager, someone in her 20s, someone in her 30s, someone in her 40s, and someone in her 50s.
Okay.
That's astounding to me. That's
I'm just not going to indicate which category I fall into, Bo, and neither should you.
I will say that I'm about to go from one to the other in about 5 months.
Okay, then.
So.
All right, not to interrupt you, but we are now upon Skip Rocks in our first end. This is Terry Smith, Mr. Terry Smith, throwing the first of his two.
This is for the team that we can't really pronounce. Techni Alipias,
Techni Alipias is what I'm going to go with. How's that? It flows a little better.
It does sound like something from Mary Poppins.
Yes, it does.
Techni Alipias, something fragilistic curling. Got to sweep now, no. And speaking of sweeping, this one appears to be flashing past everything. That is not the best outcome. So Strange Brew now with a
Sitting one,
perhaps a good chance to steal here.
Indeed, their one has a nice guard in front of it, and in front, as you can see on your screen, there are a couple of other guards. So coming in from the left or the right, and then scooting behind, not such a bad idea.
Right. So for Techni Alipias, I'm going to sing it to actually get through it. For Techni Alipias, they will have to. They'll have to do the same thing again if they want to score, which is to try to draw around, and then that's a long way to curl to get to the 4-foot though. Last shot here from Andy Gerbig. Andrew?
From the
I was hoping you would know.
Strange Brew.
Strange Brew. You would think they would be Canadian.
I believe they do have at least one Canadian on the team, maybe two.
Yes, when we have club affiliation, sometimes it's not exact. Sometimes we have, there's one team here that has Tim Leroy playing. He is from Potomac, but the club is listed for somewhere else. They get that one into the rings.
Yes.
So it's one of those kind of shot/guards. We can call it a shard or a got. And those are shots that I love, actually. In fact, this afternoon, I watched the European Curling Championship. Actually, I guess it was yesterday's game, the semifinal.
Okay.
And I was second-guessing Sweden's Anna Hasselborg, thinking that, in fact, if you follow my Twitter feed at Doersport, you will see.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, well, I don't get paid for that.
Oh,
so
okay.
if you go back far enough, you will see that I actually posted the diagram of where Hasselborg's shot went and where I thought it perhaps should have gone. And I was in favor of the shot/guard or shard or got, and that is not what she opted to do. She opted for just for the shot, and she opted for the guard, and I thought it left the draw path open, which it did, and the draw was converted. Anna Hasselborg, by the way, won the European Championships. She won that game and then turned around and won the final on a spectacular shot, a run-back takeout. Took out took out a guard and may have been the shot stone. And go back and find it if you can. It was fantastic. By the way, the last of the rods on sheet C is being delivered. That is for Fellowship of the Rink. That is Michael Dobbs, my fellow Virginian, with Christina Alessi. That is a dual couple team. That is the Dobbs-Alessi couple and the Gross couple, all Potomac people. Leaving a interesting decision of what one to sweep out. I have no idea what happened and don't think Michael was particularly happy with that shot. Sheet A, we already have a score on sheet A, and that would be for kicking your asterisk is up 1-0. They scored one with the hammer. They're playing all my Wednesday matinee buddies. Howard Griffin is the skip. Carol Voss is the second. Carol helped me win to my first win as a skip, and only the second game I played as a skip. That was on a Tuesday matinee. On our feature sheet, this one has been thrown out. We are in Laurel, Maryland. This one, I believe, was thrown to College Park and is curling back and is not going to get to the full 8 that it needs. So that's going to be a steal of 1 for Strange Brew. All right, I don't know if we have more than 7 people now, but I am going to run through our lineups sheet by sheet. And the first 2 sheets are in the C event, which means that the losers will be done for the weekend. The winners get to play at 9 a.m. tomorrow in the C event semifinals. That means that each team in this, actually it's an interesting bracket. One of them, I believe, lost their first 2 games, but they're still in the C bracket. Most of these teams are 2-1. But anyway, on sheet A, and again, these are all Potomac. Sheet A, kicking your asterisk in red. Skip is Andy Inglis. Vice is Craig Marquardt. I believe he's a past president, is he not? I think so. Second is Judy Rakusin, although they did mix up their order in the last game, so I may check on that. And Stacy Bishop is their lead. Achilles Peel, skipped by Howard Griffin, who, by the way, is an excellent instructor.
Absolutely, and quite the gentleman.
Quite the gentleman. Rachel Byerly is the vice. Carol Voss, the aforementioned one who always kills me when we play her on Wednesday matinee. I was glad to have her on my team on the Tuesday. Wait, it's the Tuesday matinee. It's the Wednesday morning. Something like that. Anyway, the Wednesday sessions. And Stacy Slett is their lead. Strange Brew has Andrew Gerbig as the skip. Greg Jablonski is vice. Joe Random is second. J.P. Sturgeon is the lead. Techni Alipias something. That is Terry Smith as the skip. Nick Henley is the vice. Pam Smith is the second. Scott Hookton is the lead. Sheet C and D are our A event semifinals. So the winners on those sheets will be playing for the Embassy Row Championship tomorrow at noon. In red, Fellowship of the Rink, Michael Dobbs, J.R. Gross, Christine Alessi, and Heidi Gross. They are playing Deep Tzatziki.
Tzatziki.
Tzatziki. All right. David Schlanger is the skip. F.L. Etlin is the vice. Brandon Neff is the second. And Emily Albin, who I believe has also destroyed my team on Tuesdays past, she is the lead. Sheet D. Sweeping generalization, skipped by the redoubtable Alan McNeil. The vice is Dan Kennedy. The second is Gordon Bodnar. The lead is Mike Jones. Then they're playing Hip Hop Acropolis. Skip is Andy Dunham. I promise I won't do that again. Vice is George Shirk. Second is Jeremy Unterborn. And the lead is Gilad Kempenich. So, on our feature sheet, which is sheet B, we have a nicely guarded Redstone, and we have a Yellowstone out of play. So, another decent start, it appears. They have not posted the score from sheet C, by the way, where we've just had a flash through. I'm not going to give too many updates on other sheets except for scores, and we'll tell you a score that's on sheet D, which is that Hip Hop Acropolis, and I will not do the musical thing again, has taken a 3-0 lead over Sweeping Generalizations. Is Hip Hop Acropolis another one of those teams that has an average age of about 12?
Yes, because 11 and a half runs up to 12. No.
Okay. As opposed to the
Not true.
as opposed to Team Kennedy, which actually has a couple of the elder statesmen on it.
Yes.
The Kennedy patriarch is on that team. Actually, I was told 3 generations of Kennedys, if
Mhm.
I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Cedar,
So-
Hudson, Ryan, and William.
So 2 youngins, their dad and their granddad.
Yep.
It's one of the cool things about curling. I would, maybe one of these days I'll convince one of my kids to come out here. So,
Okay.
interesting one here to see the guy calling line to him. Oh no, it was one of the sweepers did not realize he was supposed to be sweeping. Of course, he will not want to sweep this at all because it is going to sail through.
Yes, it will.
So that is
Unfortunate.
the 3rd delivery for Strange Brew, which does not have hammer. They stole in the 1st. And this is, I believe, Pam Smith for the Mary Poppins team. Or Techni.
Oop, I dropped one.
We're still at 7 people. All right. Well, that's what happens when you don't have any triangle teams. Not in this one anyway. This one has a bit of weight in from Pam. I want, this could be an interesting sort of run back situation. But it's actually just going to be peeling one of the guards, peeling her own guard, and just sort of taking the red one out of the way. So a slightly improved situation there for the Techni Alipias. The always entertaining 3-person sweep is underway on sheet C.
And this stone is being escorted on down the chute towards the house.
This looks like it has a bit too, well, I was going to say a bit too much weight, but if I could judge weight better, maybe I wouldn't be losing all these games that I'm talking about losing. It is a little bit heavy. Not.
It will hang on.
It's still in play, but it's
The back 8.
yeah, back 8, perhaps not ideal.
But hey, it is still in a scoring position. Oh, oops. This is what happens when you're trying to do too many things at the same time.
Pam Smith with her 2nd delivery now.
Oh goodness, this is a lot of weight to it.
This is bumper, I would say, or yeah, I'd
Okay.
say bumper, and it's going to nose hit one and take that one out. Maybe they
And-
would have liked the double, but that's not a bad outcome. It is probably 2/3 guarded, just in front of the button. So pretty good place to have a stone, especially when you have hammer.
And after taking out the other stone, it did kind of veer off to the left, which I'm assuming was their plan, because as Bo said, it is 2/3 undercover. So that's a good thing, as Martha Stewart likes to say.
Was that before she went to jail or after?
Before.
Okay. I believe that stone is being targeted, which has to be sort of that half takeout, half draw weight. So call that a drake out or perhaps a taw. And I think this is going to instead be a flash.
Flash
Yeah, that
In the-
goes through. They don't even put a broom on it to sweep.
in the pan.
Yep.
That is one thing for curlers who are not, or new curlers or folks who are not aware. The more weight or the more oomph, I'm making air quotations here, oomph, behind a stone that you deliver, the accuracy kind of goes down. So,
Oh, that's what happened to me last week.
yes, yes, it was.
Right.
So more speed, accuracy is a little weakened.
Or Tuesday when I was playing actually against Michael Dodds and Christina Lessie. On sheet D, did we get the Hip Hop Acropolis scoring 3 in that one? And oh, sheet C.
Has scored.
Sheet C, I don't know, I thought Michael Dobbs looked unhappy with that, but it turns out they scored 3.
Oh.
So they are up 3-0.
Fellowship of the Rink is 3. I thought that was a 2. That's a 3.
That is a 3.
My apologies.
And on sheet A, I think we got this already. Kicking Your Asterisk has scored 1 with hammer. So every team that had the hammer scored except in our feature game. That was a steal of 1. That's about right, isn't it? 75% of the time the hammer scores?
That's true.
Okay. And speaking of hammer, that is what that's what Strange Brew does not have. This should be their vice, Greg Jablonski. Yeah, this is their vice, Greg Jablonski, delivering now with a bit of weight, trying to get rid of some of these yellows. It could be a fancy double takeout, and oh, what a nice shot that is.
Took that one out, but second one didn't quite leave. It's still hanging around in the 12. You know, it's that guess that you just can't get to leave.
It was about 95% of a really good shot. I'm always impressed when you have any sort of combination shot like that, and they did get it most of the way. And it would appear with this shot, Nick Henley is probably targeting that red one in the back of the 8-foot, and I think this is going to be a flash as well.
Yes,
that was
unfortunate.
Yeah. So a couple of rough shots in this end. And certainly a momentum shift here in favor of Strange Brew with that. You can call it a double takeout. One of them didn't quite leave the rings, but it is being outcounted by a red. So Andrew Gerbig has a decent look at getting 2 in scoring position, which appears that he will be going for the draw. Actually, it's hard to tell. He's at the broom is at the position where it could be taking out the yellow that's in there, or it could be drawing to the center. From this weight, I think he wants to get rid of that yellow. This is curling. Well, it's going to be a draw whether he intended it that way or not. I think he intended this to be a draw, and it's going to stay just north of the tee line, so actually a pretty good draw in the end.
Very nice.
Yeah, it seemed a little fast from our angle, looking straight down the ice with that rock coming right towards us. Fortunately, there's a wall between us and the rocks. Fortunately, it's a glass wall. Otherwise, we would be sitting here just sort of guessing at what's going on.
Unfreezing. You can see a little strategy being discussed.
Yeah. This will be for the first of the skip rocks to be thrown by Terry Smith of the Potomac Club versus the Potomac Club. On sheet C, it's Potomac 3-0. On sheet over Potomac. On sheet D, it's Potomac 3-0 over Potomac. And sheet A, it's 1-0 over Potomac. We did attract some people from other. We promised there were people here from other clubs. In fact, at 8:30, you will see clubs from Plainfield/Triangle. Hello to my Triangle people. You'll see a couple of teams from Diamond State. You will see a Pittsburgh team, and you'll see one that is Philadelphia, Butts County, and Potomac. And then tomorrow there's a Potomac/Lindsay team. The teams that have departed include one from Pittsburgh, one from San Francisco/Wine Country, one from Lone Star. Oh, that's interesting. And one from Chesapeake, just across the bay from us.
And the team name for them is A Bay Away. Does that make sense to you, Bo?
It does, and I think it's unfortunate that the best team names have all been knocked out of here. You had Rob Meyer's team, OK Broomer, and then the philosophy major in me appreciates Team Mediocrities.
Yes.
Which also fits the Greek theme here at Embassy Row. We'll pause the team name rundown to watch what appears to be a double-ish takeout attempt of sorts, and it looks like
Hold on.
Oh, well, it's a double takeout, but unfortunately, the second one was their own.
Yeah, red is sitting one.
Yeah. It's sitting one. They have hammer. I'm a little bit confused looking at. No, yellow has hammer. That's That's right. Yellow still has hammer. Red stole in the first end. So we're going to be seeing Mr. Gerbig wearing the Montreal Expos hat. Of course, the Montreal Expos moved. I forget where they moved. They went somewhere else, and apparently are still playing baseball.
Yeah, and the team that just won the World Series not long ago.
Oh, did they?
DC, the Nats.
Oh, okay.
What do you know?
I lost track after the Capitals won and made my life complete. Also, the Washington Mystics.
I was going to say, the
champions,
women's
so
basketball team
Yes.
has also kicked some butt last season.
All that's left now is for the DC Breeze to win one. That would be ultimate. And of course, the Washington Castles won about 40 in a row in World Team Tennis because they always seem to get Serena and Venus Williams to play for them.
Yep.
So we just had a guard thrown intentionally or otherwise here by Andrew Gerbig.
I'd say it was intentional because it's pretty much in line with that red stone that's counting.
It is. It's going to make things very difficult for Terry Smith here to remove the shot stone. It is not 100% buried, but he's going to have to come around from that angle anyway. Oh, that was very nice. Someone realized he was impeding my view of sheet B and hopped out of the way. I was watching sheet C, so there. Sheet C has not yet put up their score for the second end. I can see that on sheet D, Alan McNeil is delivering the hammer for sweeping generalizations, facing one, but if they take that one out, they will get two. And it's going to hit it, and will he leave the shooter? The shooter just hangs on. That's going to be two for sweeping generalizations if I saw the entire sheet, which I may not have. In case I saw a shot there for Mr. McNeil. And speaking of solid shots, that's what Terry Smith is hoping for here. He's taking the draw around. Yeah, he's just taking the draw around to the other side. I guess hitting it didn't really make much of a difference. Well, if he'd hit it, he would have been able to score two, but it would have been a very difficult hit. He has opted instead for the slightly easier draw. And as I say that, it looks like they're having a lot of trouble getting it where it needs to be. And I don't.
I don't know.
I think it did from looking overhead because I see a little bit of daylight of white, but our overhead views can be deceiving, and they are taking a good long look at it. There is a measuring stick next to sheet A. I actually used that for the first time in not too long ago. Well, they're kicking the other stones away, and they do not have a and someone just dropped a broom right next to one of the rods that they would be measuring, which doesn't seem like the.
No, I think
I
that's
see.
the
That
symbol
was
saying
yeah,
we're going to measure.
that was the please don't kick any rots this way thing. And yes, he has made the short trek across sheet A to grab our measuring stick. There is a delivery in progress on sheet A. So now he will come over with the contraption. Oh, we have score updates on our other two sheets. It was indeed two for sweeping generalizations and Alan McNeil. So they trail 3-2. It was one on sheet C for Deep
Taziki.
So that score is 3-1 in favor of Fellowship of the Rink. The measurement in progress, it's funny, that it actually doesn't even look straight to me from where I'm sitting. Seriously, it looks like it's, I don't know, is this an optical illusion or is this just not, well, anyway, the measurement is in progress. I think that stick has moved a considerable amount. I don't think it's really sitting comfortably. Oh, but they're content with the measurement anyway. It will be yellow. So we will have a tie game at 1 each. If I am interpreting the kicks correctly.
So that's the stick. Usually, at least I know when others have done it, they have pushed the other one out of the way, and the one that is determined to be the winner is moved just for a moment to be sitting on the button.
We'll have to ask Christine and Michael, who are playing on sheet C, because they are licensed curling officials. They were telling me between games how they officiated at the Arena Nationals one year in Salt Lake City, which sounds like a lot of fun. I, at some point, am just going to quit trying to work, and I'm just going to go to curling things all over the country, because that sounds like a lot of fun.
Okay, that's what your plan is, your retirement plan?
Maybe it'll be my next book.
Okay. Ooh, that's an idea.
So, you know.
Throw that away, that's alcohol abuse. Don't throw that away, that's alcohol abuse.
As Linda Kirkman very nicely checks in on Janine. So greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
We have an update on sheet A. It is a steal of 2 for Kicking Your Asterisk. They are up 3-0. Repeating again, sheets A and B, we have. Oh, thank you, Linda. Oh, just like that. Just like that.
And speaking of referees or umpires in the world of curling, Linda Kirkman has done her share.
And so is Alan McNeil, I believe. In fact, Alan, I believe, ran the mixed curling championship.
Yep.
That was held here, the GNCC, right? The Grand National Curling.
Yes, he did.
Mixed championship that was won by Hunter Clausen, Catherine Gordivanova, Eli Clausen, and Sydney Mullaney. The reason I can roll off those names off the tip of my tongue is because there is a banner hanging because they went on to win the U.S. Mixed Championship and went to Aberdeen, Scotland a month or so ago to play in the World Championships. Put together a couple of wins. Were knocked out the playoffs partway in.
But then again, when you have some very young folks.
They are all very young. Hunter was in the U.S. High Performance Junior program just a couple of years ago and plays with Todd Burr, one of the top, possibly the best non-high performance program team in the U.S. right now. Contenders for the U.S. Championships. All they have to do is beat John Schuster.
But no, that's all?
That's all. Catherine Gordivanova, a very good young player. She's in the junior. I don't have to look that up. She is playing for women's junior. I believe she is playing with Ariel Tratzler from Alaska in the Junior Nationals qualifications this year. So some very good young players here at Potomac. It's kind of fun when they pop up on a sheet next to you as they did one Tuesday, and we all just kind of ignore our games and sit and watch and see what Hunter's doing.
Exactly.
Right. And the Clausen family father, Eric, is responsible for many of the things you see on the ice. I actually came out one day and helped him lay down a bunch of the lines.
Ooh.
And I don't know if we'll talk about that delivery. That was a bit of a stumble.
Yeah, it was yeah, he's up, so it doesn't seem to be an injury involved, which is good. That was the concern.
Yeah, he sort of went knee first, which is not ideal.
Yeah, apologies. I did the mom thing. I'm a mom, okay? Can't help it.
I'm a dad. I just told him to get up and rub some dirt on it.
Yeah, rub some dirt. You're fine.
That's right.
I do have to say, I have a brother who's 11 years behind me, and when he was quite young, I peeked around the side of the house, and he was running down the little sidewalk in our backyard, and he tripped and he fell, and he looked around, and there was nobody there. He didn't see me. So he just stood up, literally brushed off his knees, and then kept running. So there was no one to go, "Oh, honey, are you okay?"
There was a Calvin and Hobbes strip along those lines where Calvin fell and hurt something and cried for a second and then stopped, looked around, realized there was no one there, and then went up and found his mom and started crying again. And we just had a shot flash through.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a few errors in this third end of our feature game. So we will we'll save more of the commentary for the really good shots that come up.
Well, hey, that's also part of curling, and the fact that the other team doesn't necessarily capitalize, and of course they're not going to trash talk the other team when an error is made. I mean, you may find that in other sports, but not in curling. Typically, you know, when you're on the ice and you see someone fall, you want to make sure that they're okay.
Saw Mr. McNeil take a really nasty fall at one Buntsville last year to the point where we were fairly concerned about him, but he did pop up and continue playing. And that bit of a takeout attempt had one of the worst possible outcomes, bumping the yellow rock into where it is now perfectly buried, as opposed to taking it out. So
That's unfortunate.
that is. It's one of those things where the better you get. I remember for a while, if you asked me to play a takeout, there was no way I would make contact with the rock. Then I reached the point to where I would sometimes hit it, but hit it maybe a few inches the wrong way, and then you do some real damage. Because then it's the difference between, well, what you just saw, between taking it out of the rings or burying it farther in.
For the other team.
For the other team. This draw attempt looks, it's not slowing down just yet, and well, now it is, and it's going, yeah, that's going to sit nicely just north of the tee line.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is vulnerable.
It is. They would have had to. Oh no, they would have had to put 3 in a line to have it buried. I think at least in this case, it means that they have to. Red has to attack that one. This is the second rock now of Joe Random for Strange Brew. And I don't know if he was targeting that one or not, but he's going to end up peeling a guard. So now both yellow rots are exposed, and yellow can choose and say, okay, well, which one do we want to guard?
That's true. All right, folks, I did put the scoreboard up on screen. I apologize. There will be times I'll take it down so that we can have a better view of the action. But don't worry, it will come back up then.
Boy, sheet C is just cruising right along. Christine now putting a rock over so that her significant other, Michael Dobbs, can line up for this shot. Wait a minute, did we have a lineup change for Fellowship of the Rink?
I don't know.
Because that obviously is not Heidi Gross
no,
lining
it's
up to
not.
sweep this. This is,
Who is this?
I don't know.
Who's that young man?
Someone.
I know his name, but doggone it.
Someone subbing in for Heidi Gross because J.R. Gross is down at the other end holding the broom for Michael Dobbs. Meanwhile, on our feature sheet, you have a diagonal line of 3. I would estimate that at a 30-degree angle. My younger son is taking geometry in 8th grade right now.
Lots of weight behind this throw.
Trying to make
All
at
right,
least
let's see
one
what
of them
happens
go.
overhead.
Boom. Unfortunately, it hit just enough to get 1. And that one could be not through, but you can't hit it on the nose, so it'd be difficult to keep your shooter in there.
Unless you come in from the right and hit it.
Yeah, you'd have to come in from the right and hit it.
At a 45-degree angle to the left.
Yeah, and then it'll be difficult to keep the shooter around.
Yeah.
You'd still be line 2, but you're line 2 already. So it might make more sense just to go ahead and guard the one that's on the in the forefoot. And from the way here, it's hard. It looks like they're trying to draw past the red. It's going to curl too much
Through the port? Oh, no, it is curling too much.
It is curling too much. That is, oh my goodness, they have made red shot stone.
Oops.
That was clearly not what they were intending.
Well, I guess that's payback for what happened earlier when the red stone advanced the yellow. So,
So
you know,
we have spectators next to us coming in. Oh, I will take my jacket off of that chair so to offer it to someone.
okie dokie. Do we have any other scores posted? No, we do not.
No,
I think we're up to date.
everyone is in the third end. Howard Griffin is actually delivering his hammer now for Achilles Peel. There are a ton of rods in play, all on the left side of the house. And it appears Howard is putting one in that general direction as well.
Ooh,
Actually, there's one on the right side of the house. This looks like
it's too red.
too red on sheet.
B.
On our feature sheet.
On our feature sheet. So
I was watching sheet A. Is that happened? So was that a hit and roll? Did it take out the?
Hold on. No, it wasn't a takeout. Basically, it was a roll in. It's kind of a draw.
I can tell you that Howard Griffin came up with one for Achilles Peel. It is 3-1 after 3 ends. That was the first of our sheets to get to the fourth end.
Okay.
I feel like the games are just flying right along tonight. Sheet C, things are fairly wide open as we get to Michael Dobbs about to deliver the hammer. Looks like he'll probably just be drawing for one unless JR is standing in front of a red rock that's scoring, which he might be. JR last year was the organizer of the Hangover Spiel, which is the most fun I've ever had.
Indeed. I had a lot of fun too.
Yeah, it was a wonderful experience.
And I happened to be on the winning team. Woohoo!
I was on Michael Dobbs' team, and Christine killed us by playing a wild card thing as we have a shot flashing through.
Ooh.
Oh, boy.
Ooh.
Things have just... This looks like a really good situation for Techni Alipias a short time ago, and it has gone very far south. It has gone from D.C. to Georgia, where I grew up. On sheet C, we have multiple people sweeping to get Michael's draw into the house, and they did. I have no idea if it outcounted other stones or not. All right. Well, we'll focus on our feature sheet now, and see, we have it's a good chance here for red, which is Strange Brew, hit by Andrew Gerbig to perhaps put some multiple points. Now, line 2, after just a short time ago, yellow had a line of 3 that was not ideally suited for any sort of multiple takeout, but then a missed takeout actually bumped a red one into the 4-foot. Red got another one in there, and yellow just flashed one through. So this is a draw attempt now. Looks like trying to get to anything to the 4-foot would be pretty good in this situation. I think it's really turning to the right a good bit, and I don't think it's going to outcount. No, it's not going to outcount any of the yellows. That is essentially a guard, though, or a shard, or a got, as we've been saying.
Let's go with a shard.
A shard.
Okay, but at the overhead view, it still looks like 2 red.
It's definitely, it's still 2 red, and actually, they are somewhat guarded now. So that's not the worst outcome.
No.
All right, let's play What Would You Do?
What would you do? What would you do?
I think the ideal shot, if I were skilled enough to do it, would be to draw one yellow behind all those reds, have it just to the right of the button on the tee line, out counting the red.
Yep.
So
I would say, coming in from the left-hand side and just kind of sneaking behind there. I agree.
I think so. Now, if you go for that shot and miss it and leave it hanging, you're leaving a wide open hit for 3. So the other alternative would be just to blast it down the right and try to get rid of as many red rods as you can, and let red draw for whatever they can. That is not the call. They are going for the draw. So pressure shot here for Terry Smith. Not that there's too much pressure on anything, because this is curling. This is fun.
Yes, this is a friendly game.
Yes, it is. We've seen some really fun. In our last, go back and check the end of our web stream last time to see some fun attempts at impossible shots. Rob Myers nearly pulled off the shot of a lifetime to nick one of his guards in there. This one is doing what I feared it might do, which is it's going to hang out there and stay exposed to where any sort of hit that leaves the shooter gets that for 3. Now, if they hit it to the left, they might roll to where they're not shot, or not third shot. They're not shot right now. Right now, well,
no,
red has 1. If they can make that yellow go away, they'll have at least 2. If the shooter sticks around, they'll have 3. If they bump their own red so that it makes both the yellows go and then flick it over to the left and knock the other one out, they will have 5, and I will go buy that person a drink.
Okay, so here comes the hammer. It's got some good speed to it.
I
weight.
do think it's going to curl enough to make contact, but I don't think it's going to stick around.
Uh-oh.
It made contact, and it did not stick around.
Did not stick around.
Right. So, still not the worst outcome. That is 2.
2 red.
2 red for Strange Brew. Perhaps an homage to
the movie.
To the movie, or to Jason Thacker, a contestant on the first season of The Ultimate Fighter. Sheet C, by the way, Fellowship of the Rink. Michael Dobbs' draw got him 2, so they lead 5-1 after 3 ends. On sheet D, we've seen another crooked number go on the board for Hip Hop Acropolis, the young team playing against the experienced team. And so our scores on sheet C, again, these are the A event semifinals. The winners here will play for the title tomorrow. And it's looking good for, early yet, but looking good for Fellowship of the Rink, up 5-1, and for Hip Hop Acropolis, up 6-2. All of our gains now in the 4th end, as we see a center guard going in place up, and it drifts into the rings.
It does. It's drifted into the front 12.
Elizabeth Demers, who I mentioned earlier as the alternate for Stephanie Seneker's team, was part of an 8-ender here at Potomac Curling Club. I asked her about it. She was actually the editor of my first book, or I believe the purchasing editor for it.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. That's right.
Hey, if we announce that it's a shameless plug, then you can do them all day long.
That's right. Well, then it becomes a shamed plug.
Oh.
So it's not shameless, it's actually kind of shamed. But what she told me about it was that she basically made the cardinal mistake of any lead and put her, that was supposed to be a guard, into the house, and they wound up scoring 8 out of it. In this case, the rock gets knocked out of the house, so we will not be having Nate Ender here, as we have a fall on the ice from, appears to be one of the sweepers on our feature sheet, I believe.
Oh?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Immediately back up.
Okay.
And everybody laughing about it.
Okay.
So.
Both teams, that is. They're not laughing at, they're laughing with.
That is correct.
Okay, again, for those not familiar already.
For those not familiar with hogline, hog stones, you're about to see one on our feature sheet.
Did it get over?
I guess it did.
Yes, just.
I guess it did. The man in the Expos hat can certainly sweep.
Yes, and you can't even see it in this view, so let's get that view. What I was going to say, Bo, is that curling is a friendly game. You are free to tell your opponent's team if they make a great shot, please tell them. Say, wow, that was a good shot. And, when you talk to your skip, it's out in the open. Everyone can hear you. There's no hiding that fact. It's just, again, and then afterwards, you and your opponents will broom stack at is come into the warm room and all sit around the same table and chat about the game and, you know, what could have and would have happened and talk about some fabulous shots.
There is no sign stealing in curling because everything is out in the open.
Mm-hmm.
So, speaking of out in the open, this shot appears that it's not quite going to get bearing. Well, no, it's.
Ooh, wow, look at that.
Well, if that were a draw on the button, that would be perfect. I think it is more or less exposed, though.
It may be just touching. Like it's got its fingers in the cookie jar of the button.
Oh, that reminds me, I've not yet gotten dessert.
Oh, well, hold on a second. We can fix that.
I'll go check it out later.
Okay.
It's okay. I'm on my second soda of the evening. I don't need to grab something right now, although it is a Coke Zero. And takeout attempt is going to be successful. They'd like to get this out of the range if they can, and yet no one's sweeping it. I guess they were just confident that it was going to go.
It did.
It did. And so now you have Strange Brew has a red one in there. Again, not quite buried.
Oh, goodness, who's pinching Oliver?
Apparently, someone young behind us either didn't like that shot or is hungry.
We have a youngster, 6 months old. His name is Oliver, and I tell you, he is cuter than you can imagine. He's got those nice cheeks, those blue eyes.
And now I see that we have more chat. My YouTube app was telling me we didn't, and we actually do. So I apologize for belatedly replying on the I demand VAR. Yes, being a soccer writer. On the TV back there. Oh, wow. Everyone is gathered and watching us behind here. Hopefully they don't have the sound turned up as I make fun of everybody.
Aww.
Yeah, can you believe that? I'm going to start reading names from 8:30. Diana Black and Joe Assertion and Ken Clark. Oh, no, Ken just delivered me food, so I can't complain about that. What is this? This some sort of baklava, I suppose?
Turn up the volume on the commentary? Or was that a previous chat?
I can just yell.
No. No, for some reason, well, it's the chat replay, so why?
Yeah, that was the previous game where I seriously could not hear anybody. In fact, I think that was me complaining about the volume.
Possibly could, because it's just weird. Now I can't see the chat. Okay, well, anyway, let's go back to the hack. Keep an eye on our game.
Back to hack. We're in the sack. All right, so it's a little too early in the evening for AC/DC as we see a draw attempt now for Techni Alipias. Should be their second. Pam Smith with that delivery. They're trying to sweep this into where it will be buried. It's going to drift.
It passed the T line, definitely.
And the rare two-person sweep.
Both skips.
Yeah, I want it to the center. I want it out.
Okay, so it was a combination. It ended up in the 8-foot, in the back 8.
Well, it is a friendly game. Sometimes you just cooperate that way.
Yes, yes, indeed.
So.
Oh, why did that happen again?
On sheet A, I will only tell you that it has just gotten very interesting.
It's Mark Carlson. Oh, that's a previous mean. Young man. We stand Janine. What?
That means they like you.
Oh, really? Okay.
I have kids, trust me.
Okay, Stan is a good thing.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
As the second rock has been taken out, not the shot rock, but the second rock.
Sitting one yellow.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for the compliment. Ava's Games. Mm-hmm. Okie doke.
We will talk with Ken about getting a replay on this. Ken has done an awful lot to make this professional quality webcast that you see here. Well, then the only other thing we need would be cameramen on the ice going back and forth. But as you can see, we have no space. This is not one of those clubs that has space between sheets. You just have the single red line.
Yeah, that's kind of like hold up your pinky when you go to the that club.
Right. So cameramen on the ice, I think we're a little far away from having that. But we'll talk with Ken about replay.
Mm-hmm. There's a button that says replay. It's just not operational at this time. So it looks like he's working on it maybe. You can see him every so often at this computer writing some code.
A hard sweep here. They'd love to get these two kind of lined up. And it's close to lined up.
Let's look at it from afar. Maybe
It would be very difficult to get at the rear one, but it looks like the idea is to get the front one and take the rear one along the way.
if possible.
Which, in curling terminology, is a double takeout. In terminology for when I'm throwing, it is called an impossible.
And I know a member of the club who would refer to this as a double, because he's just that kind of guy.
Is it the person wearing the Montreal Expos hat? Because that sounds almost French.
No, it is a member who has not come out this weekend to help us out.
That would be a narrow miss of the double. Almost got the one in the back. Did not. Yellow is still shot.
Oh, calling for a takeout. I saw that.
That rock is pretty well exposed. Well, both rocks are pretty well exposed. There is a long, long guard, the one that barely made over the hog line. That's not really guarding much of anything of interest right now. Techni Alipias trying to get rid of the red one that's in the house, and they will. And more importantly, stop it from going into the other sheet. Again, we don't have any dividers between sheets here. And actually, that one winds up pretty well to the point where their red long guard is a factor, because you can't just throw the high heat at the one that's in the back.
I have to show you out here and take away the scoreboard.
As Andy Gerbig heads back for the first of his skip rods. In fact, our first skip rock, I'm pretty sure. Yep.
Of this end.
Yep.
Do you have any other score updates? Oh, it looks like Sheet A is finished.
Sheet A is just finished, and last I saw, yellow Achilles Peel had a lot of stones toward the center of the house, so, and they had hammer, so that might have been a big score for yellow.
Okay, here we are back in the hack with the skip for deep. Oh, I apologize. Strange brew. I'm getting my C and my B's mixed up.
I thought you were just an Adele fan. Rolling in the deep. So a draw here for Strange Brew. If they get this to curl a little bit more, it'll have nice backing.
Yes, it will.
And it will have nice backing, to the point where this is going to be very difficult to dislodge that one.
That is true. Yeah. You can see that they're discussing strategy. Now, as we said, the talking on the sheet is open for anyone and everyone to hear. Both teams can hear each other. The only difficulty would be is if you were speaking a different language. For example, if you're the Korean team, it may be a little difficult to interpret what the Norwegians are saying.
Sheet C has just finished the fourth end, and that would appear to be a couple for deep Tzatziki. Robert, I think it was 2.
Hello, 4. I think Achilles Peel just had a 3 end from what I'm seeing.
Yes, they did, and that matches up to what I saw. They had 3 that were in the 4-foot, and red did not draw one in to outcount it.
So over on sheet A, it's Achilles Peel 4 and kick your asterisk, or kicking your asterisk at 3.
Sheet D appears to be having a rules discussion about where certain stones would have come to rest. Either that or they're just admiring the view. Because we have a lot of people sort of standing and pointing and looking.
Or it's just a very long strategy discussion. Oh,
I guess it could be. I guess if they're all from the same team. It looked like there were people from both teams involved in that discussion, but maybe not.
just a second. Aha.
And we are about to have delivery here now. This is the first of these skip rods for Terry Smith,
Oh,
isn't it?
yes.
Yes. Taking a, I don't know that, I
I don't know.
think this is going to remove one of his own,
Oops.
if not two of his own. Well, he's now got two biters. Yeah, he almost removed two and lost the shooter. Now, the good news is the red is exposed,
Completely.
completely exposed. The bad news is red has this shot. So if we get a major mistake here from Andrew Gerbig, then Terry Smith will have a shot to knock that one out and possibly get three. But Andrew Gerbig will have a lot to say about that.
I think we have an update on sheet C. Two more for Deep Taziki.
Yeah, that is not a surprise given what I saw on the ice there.
Okay.
Sheet A, Carol Voss has thrown a lot of weight, which is always a lot of fun to see. Sheet D, where we've had the long discussion. So long that one of the young kids over there has actually decided to take a nap, or is just sitting on the carpet over to the side. Al McNeil's hammer is on the way. He is going against two. And I think this is going to wreck on a guard. Maybe it's a promotion attempt.
Yes, it is.
It is a promotion attempt, and it is not quite promoted enough. That is a steal of multiple.
Of two, maybe three.
Possibly three, yeah. Is that handshakes already? Al McNeil is shaking hands. That is handshakes on sheet D already. Al McNeil has just walked up and started shaking hands with people. Falling behind, I guess, 9-2. That is the earliest concession I've ever seen in one of our Bonspiels. That is through 4 of the scheduled 8 ends. And that puts Hip Hop Acropolis into the final, into the A final tomorrow against the winner of our game on sheet C. Wow, so that...
Wow. I gotta say, a couple of members of Hip Hop Acropolis look happy. They look happy over their win.
My goodness, what a interesting turn of events there. Considering earlier today we were seeing a team play the 8th end when they were down 8.
Right,
Now we have a team down 7 conceding after 4. But the losing A finalist will still have another game, so that's not the last you will see of sweeping generalizations. They will be in the D event final at 9 a.m. tomorrow. So maybe Mr. McNeil just figuring, hey, I need some sleep. Don't we all? And I was thinking of saying that the last losing team on the ice has to either put me in their hotel or their house tonight. But no, I'll make the drive to and from Northern Virginia. If you're driving the Beltway, be sure to wave.
And if you're going the other way around the Beltway, be sure to wave to me. I'm headed down the other side, staying in Maryland. Headed south. So either direction, you can wave to one of us.
Near Andrews Air Force Base, as I recall?
Yes, I drive right past it and keep going south. And that looks like a flash to me. Yeah, that goes straight out.
We have all been there. Oh, and a flash. Not everyone's been to Andrews Air Force Base.
No, but I have actually been on base twice. No, twice.
My grandfather-in-law was stationed in Andrews for a very long time.
Wow. And over on sheet D, we are going to give them a 3 in that last end because from our viewpoint, they indeed scored a 3-ender. So that score is final over on D. We're calling it as 9 for Hip Hop Acropolis and 2 for Sweeping Generalization.
That's right.
Okay. I was going to say, I think I would have called the sweepers. It's starting to slow. Okay.
So we'll be keeping most of our attention here on our featured game, but we'll also keep a bit of an eye on sheet C, where we have just had a flash by Christine, unfortunately. I think.
All right, this has some weight to it as the two gentlemen escort this stone down the sheet. It will cross the far hog line. Oh. Well, it's slowing down. That's
yeah,
nice.
I think that's going to set up fairly nicely.
Oh, they should have swept it just a little more,
Maybe
Bo.
so, yeah. It might not be shot.
I don't think it is, at least from our angle. It looks like it's second.
Yeah,
But Terry may be calling for the takeout right away, and this way you don't have to worry about it.
still early in the end, also. It's still in lead rots, I believe, if I'm counting correctly.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm glad, Bo, that you are enjoying dessert, getting some sugar, because after this game, there is one more draw. Mm-hmm. Well, there is one more draw, so this is fabulous, where we will both be up here late. So if you're driving around the Beltway, you know, you could head a little north, exit 29. Just one exit north on Route 95.
That's right.
And just put it in your GPS. It will guide you here. Or you can put in the Garden Ice House. For if there are any hockey parents listening, you've probably played there or watched your child play. Our building is connected to theirs.
Or you might be here right now. Come on over and say hi after your kid plays hockey. Because I did see there were kids playing hockey over there tonight, which is a nice change from when the adults are playing. Because when the adults are because we have to go past their restroom to, well, that's where our restroom is. And when the adults are playing, they tend to fling the pucks at the boards at very high speed, trying to scare us.
Purposely.
Purposely, yeah.
And for me, it works most every time.
Yeah. When they're warming up, of course. During a game, they would not want to do that.
No.
On our feature game, that was a double takeout-ish that actually put things in a bit of better shape for Strange Brew.
I don't know about that.
Oh, it took one out.
Yes, it did. All right, here we go. Here's Pam Smith.
Throwing takeout weight, releasing the stone very early in her delivery, because as we know, the farther you slide, the more momentum you lose. Now, of course, if you're Canadian, you just slide all the way to the hog line anyway. You just make up for the weight in your delivery. And, oh, that was not the best outcome. She jammed the red one off the yellow, and her shooter rolled out, so she has left one red sitting in there. See, I told you putting that red in there was going to be good. Right?
True, you did. I will never doubt you again, Mr. Bo.
Well, you probably should.
Yeah. Perhaps.
I think I finished the bottom layer of my dessert, and now I'm on the top, which is very flaky and dense.
The top is more so the baklava. The center was a really nice cheesecake. Did you know the Greeks invented cheesecake?
I did not. I associate it with Philadelphia because of the Philly deli that I used to go to and get cheesesteak and cheesecake. Yes.
But no.
I
According
guess
to
I'm wrong.
certain records, the Greeks are credited with making cheesecake. And then that bottom layer, I don't think it's baklava because it is just completely, like, I don't want to say swimming in honey, but it's not so flaky because it has that dense amount of honey in it. But yeah, it is, Hello, carbs.
I would like to thank the many bees who provided the material for this dessert.
Oh, absolutely. Ooh, it just, okay, good job. It did take out. And now the house is completely open. There is no one at home.
Yep, after we just had a flash on one of the rots by Strange Brew. And so now there's nothing left.
Oh.
On sheet C, there's an awful lot left. There are an awful lot of rots in the house.
In their house? Let's see if we can. Nope.
Well, no, only
4.
There's 4. There's 2 yellow and 1 red. There is a yellow that is obviously shot. It's hard to tell about the rest.
There is a red, like right behind that yellow shot.
Oh, that I could not see.
Well,
That's actually perhaps a bad thing because it makes the yellow one difficult to get out of there.
Without removing their own.
All right.
Indeed. See, it's teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work, though.
That's right.
It really does. All right, here we go. And Nick is gearing up in the hack. Over on A, Mr. Howard Griffin has just delivered, with takeout speed.
I believe in Animal House they referred to that as ramming speed.
Absolutely. I haven't watched that in a while. Nice reference. I'm not exactly sure what ended up with Howard Stone. Did it just like break a bunch of things apart?
It did, and there were people standing in the way, so I had no chance to see much of it.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
Okay. Nick Stone is being escorted. The sweepers at the ready. Here we go. Called onto a little bit of service. Oh, this still needs to slow down.
There is a guard that you can't see from the overhead, and they are trying to bury it behind it. They may have buried it too far, or no, it's still in play.
Let's take
it's still in the 12-foot. Okay.
Yes, it is, and it's not quite under the guard. Oh, that camera froze again. Doggone it.
Well, it is cold out there.
Yeah, it is. Again, sweeper sticking close by.
This one looks like it could be a freeze. Freeze would be a very good outcome here.
Oh.
And it's not going to get there, but it is going to outcount the yellow and be fairly well guarded, so not a bad outcome there for Strange Brew.
Have to give you this view at this point. Kind of like in between those other 2 stones, pretty nicely.
Yeah.
All right, hoping that other camera straightens itself out.
Trying to pick that one out of there, and they might do it. Oh my, what a shot. Wow, to get through there. Had to just hit a portion of the right side of it, and he did it. Good shot there from Mr. Nick Henley.
So at this time, it's 1 yellow. This camera is just frozen. Come on. Sorry for the folks watching. I'm trying to see if it will unfreeze. We'll just have to wait. Give it a little more time. Okay, I think we have an update over on sheet A. I believe Kick Your Asterisk has scored 3. So now that score is 6 as Kick Your Asterisk and 4 for Achilles Peel. That game is going back and forth.
Andrew Gerbig delivering the first of our skip rots here. Looks like he's putting this fairly far out wide. I don't know if he intended to get that behind guard or not. It is not going to be behind guard. It is going to be in the house. It is going to be shot, but it is going to be wide open.
Okay, let's see. Nope.
The 5th end has just finished on sheet C, and that is going to be 3 a triple four Fellowship of the Rink. They are up 8-3. They are coming toward us in the sixth end, so we'll be able to give you more of an update on what happens in that A event semifinal. The winner of that one will play Hip Hop Acropolis, which is already done because they're all so young that it is past their bedtime.
Now there's a couple of nice young gentlemen on that team. Okay, Terry Smith, the skip for the Techni Alipias. Anything new and interesting on the chat?
No, I just checked a second ago. I think they've all
Just
quieted down from there.
concentrating on the game. Very good, very good. Okay.
Right, the first of Terry Smith's rods now in the fifth end. Obviously targeting the red one in there, and I think he will hit it and probably stick. Yeah,
Yes.
sticks fairly well.
All right, let me check this frozen camera again. Nope, still frozen. Rats.
Which camera is it?
This one, that's kind of like the
Ah,
that view of the
Okay.
far hog line in the house. I mean, we can pretty much get that using this other camera, but it's just farther away. It's really harder to see. You know, especially if we're talking action happening out in front of the house. But we are not giving up. Never give up. Never surrender.
this shot not huge takeout weight, but enough. It's going to be enough to get it out of there, and get the one at the back.
Got the double.
The double. Nice shot for the man with
Very.
the Montreal hat. The Montreal hat.
That was a very, very nice shot.
There's
Strange Brew team. Wow.
Yeah, he's looking at us as if to say, no, you don't have to ring the cowbell on that.
Okay. All right, we won't, but
Right.
we will, you know.
But hey, that
That was
certainly
very-
limits the scoring possibilities now for Strange Brew. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Limits the scoring opportunities for Techni Alipias.
That is still
They can-
frozen.
They can get one, or they can just take the blank.
Okay.
Sheet C, incidentally, has finished all its lead rots, and that is we have 2 rots for Fellowship of the Rink in the 8 and 12 foot in front of the tee line. 2 corner guards for yellow. Deep is Taziki. And looks like Christine is going to add to the group of red rots, kind of in the middle center 12-8 range. So
Okay, is this the hammer at our end? Yes, it is.
this is the hammer, and it's either going to be 1 yellow, 1 red, or a blank, depending on if this one hits and where it hits.
And if it stays.
And, well, where it hits, kind of.
Yeah, true.
Probably determine. Well, also the weight would help determine whether it stays.
Absolutely.
Terry Smith using the fancy triangular stabilizer. Not really a ton of speed on this, and I think it's going to curl. And is this a draw attempt rather than the takeout? I mean, a draw is fine if it gets in the 8 foot.
Uh-oh. Let me
If it
put you
stays
the
in
overhead
8
view.
foot, if it stays in the 8 foot,
It is
does
not. It's going to
That-
flash.
That is a steal of 1 for Strange Brew.
Oh, my. Okay. Steal of 1.
Through it goes.
Well, oh, doggone it. Sorry. Got my foot stuck underneath the table here while trying to get up.
Oh, I can switch those for you for now if you like.
Please.
Oh, okay.
Being short hurts
yeah.
sometimes.
I used to be 6'1", now I'm more like 6 foot.
Okay.
But also I'm sitting on the catbird seat. On sheet C, Christine Alessi is going to take out one of these guards.
The cameras have just like frozen up on me, so I'm really sorry to say. All right. I have to go back to the manual. And that one remains frozen.
The camera, that is, not the rock.
What? Now this one is not. I can't get a view of the hack at that far end.
Well, that's probably good news for Scott Houghton, because he kind of tripped a bit on that delivery, as he is drawing one here around the red guard. Sheet C, we have a takeout attempt on the last of our second rocks. Attempting a hit and roll, and they're going to get the hit, and they're going to get the roll, and leave it partially exposed now for J.R. Gross to aim at. Again, keeping you up to date on that, because that is an A semifinal. Sheet A is flying along at a pretty quick pace. 2 in play for red at this point. Speaking of red, it appears we're going to see a flash here. Yeah, quite definitely a flash. Sheet C, is J.R. Gross going to make this takeout? Yes, he will. Is he going to leave the shooter in play? No, he's not, but I don't think that was really much of a concern or a possibility.
Okay. You want to see a lovely picture, Bo? Here, look at the screen. Ooh. Looks like modern art. Unfortunately, that's the camera that's frozen at present, folks.
Jadson Pollock would be proud.
Yes.
I know there was a way to fix that when Michael had these cameras set up before. I don't remember what it was. I think it had something to do with, aiming at another sheet and then bringing it back.
Well.
But I don't remember how to do that.
I do. But
okay.
I don't want to interrupt watching our feature game here. If we have a moment, I will attempt it. Okay. Oh, no. Okay.
Well, at some point, we can just sort of point the camera at ourselves and we can draw pictures of where the rocks are going.
No, we'll be aiming it towards Mr. Bo Doer.
Hi, everyone.
They're much more photogenic.
It depends on which angle you're taking it from and how much airbrushing you
I
use.
will make sure to get your good side.
All right.
Okay, so here, for example, just bear with me, folks. Right.
Yeah. On sheet C, we've just seen a draw with the first rock from F.L. Etlin. J.R. Gross is going to take aim at that one. That was more exposed than the last one was. Speaking of exposed, we've just had a takeout on our feature game with the... There's a rock I cannot account for.
It's hiding.
Oh no! This is the first of Pam Smith's shots now for Techni Alipias.
Okay.
Did we just have a flash on sheet C?
I think we just did.
I think we did, and all of a sudden that means Deep Taziki could be in business. Yeah, because there's no red rock there, and there's a yellow rock that is now standing there, and I think they're debating whether FL Etlin should guard that. As our sequence of takeouts continues, good practice for the front end, getting a rare opportunity to hit. I know it's always fun when I'm playing lead or second, and I finally get to hit something and not worry so much about my draw weight. Just worry about the fact that I don't have any takeout weight.
Hold on a second, folks. Trying to fix the cameras again.
think we're about to have a flash on sheet B. Andrew Gerbig is already waving goodbye to it.
Yes, he is.
Well, a very good draw on sheet C. As Deep Taziki is trying to put up a multiple here. Michael Dobbs is going to throw the first of the skip rods here. Yellow has 2 in the 4-foot. Michael may be able to get both of them, or maybe he's...
Over on sheet A, it's a crowded house. Oh, goodness. He went through all that mess and I guess got the one takeout they wanted.
Well, that's because Achilles Peel doesn't want to dream it's over.
No.
The crowded house reference for you there.
That's okay. You missed the reference to another movie I had earlier.
I don't know movies. That was music.
Oh, no. I was thinking Never Give Up, Never Surrender.
Corey Hart?
Oh, Galaxy Quest movie.
Ah.
I love that movie. It is incredibly funny. With Tim Tooltime Taylor. No.
Allen.
Tim Allen.
Yeah.
And Sigourney Weaver. And, oh, the gentleman who played the bad guy in the very first Die Hard movie.
Alan Rickman.
Oh, he was really fabulous in that movie.
On sheet C, Michael Dobbs got 1 but not 2, which leaves yellow sitting 1.
The hack camera is frozen.
Speaking of Frozen, my kids are going to see Frozen 2 pretty soon, I believe.
Do you have to go, or did you?
I do not have to go. I did ride the Frozen ride when I went to Disney World. It was not bad.
Oh, really?
But I did miss what used to be in the Norway pavilion, which was Maelstrom. You can tell they pretty much just put up different scenes around it. It's basically the same ride. But it was fine.
I like the Norway Maelstrom ride.
The Maelstrom was pretty cool.
I like that one. That's a shame. Yeah, I understand. Oh, and another good movie is out this weekend. The Mr. Rogers movie.
That does look interesting.
It does too.
On our feature sheet, Mr. Nick Henley is taking aim at the one remaining Red Rock in there. It's been a while since Techni Alipias has scored. They have given up two without the hammer, and then 2 straight steals of 1. Trying to avoid a similar fate this time, which would make it very difficult to come back.
Yeah,
Good,
they got the takeout, but the shooter also left the house, so it's just 1 yellow right out in the open.
It is guarded, but I think Andrew Gerbig can, I don't know, it looks like he's calling for a takeout here. Sheet C, we've had a fair amount of discussion before David Schlanger's first delivery. They have the hammer. They are lying 1. Looks like he's trying to draw 1 next to, or basically frozen to his other one to leave another difficult. Oh, this is a very nice takeout here on sheet B. On sheet C, this draw is going to go maybe a little farther than they wanted.
It still looks like 2 yellow.
It is 2 yellow, but I think now it might be a little bit easier for Michael to. I don't know if Michael's going to try to get both of them out of there. Again, giving up 2 is not the end of the world there, so as long as he gets, he'll get 1 of them out, certainly. If he gets 2, that's fine, and then probably give up 1. Still have a substantial lead going to the 6th end. Meanwhile, Mr. Henley is going to continue our parade of takeouts here. I think.
Ooh.
No, he is not. That did not curl at all.
No. Unfortunately, his shot did miss the mark. A little bit of an advantage.
On sheet C, Michael Dobbs managed to take out the one that was more difficult to take out, which was kind of interesting. Left a potential shot for 3, actually.
Ooh.
If Dave Schlanger can hit the red one that's in the 8. Well, he'd have to be able to hit that and leave the shooter someplace close by and also have it not jam. I don't know, definitely a shot for 2 here for Deep Taziki to try to get something going and get back in the game against Fellowship of the Rink. On our feature game, looks like we're seeing a draw for 2 from Andrew Gerbig with his first rock, the first of our skip rocks here. He's shrugging as if to say, why is this not going where I threw it? And it goes into, it's a perfectly fine shot. They're line 2. Not the easiest of double takeouts from there. So, not bad, especially when you have a 5-1 lead in the 6th end and there's not much else in the house. In fact, nothing else in the house and only 1 guard out front. All right, sheet C, this is a pivotal shot now from David Schlanger.
And you can see him sliding back to his hack on this shot.
Yeah. Sheet A, incidentally, the 6th end has ended, and we have no idea how it ended. And they have not posted the score. So we'll have to get that to you when we get it to you.
I think they had at least 10 stones in the house.
Well, then it was a piece of cake to see which one had shot. All right, so on our feature game, we're about to have the first of Terry Smith's rots. They have hammer. They are down by 4. They are facing 2. On sheet C, here's the hammer for David Schlanger. He's down 8-3. He's got 1 in scoring position. This looks to be takeout weight. It looks like they're going for the shot for 3.
Okay, I changed the camera view so you can.
And it jammed as I sort of thought it would, and they got the 2. No harm done with that shot. It's worth going for it for 3. They picked up 2. They've cut the lead to 8-5. On our feature game, we have Terry Smith. Looks like he's just going to try to draw and get it buried past that 1 guard that's in play. He's going to have to curl a significant amount to get there. It is not going to do that. And that is just going to be a sitting duck for Andrew Gerbig to get that out and be line 3 and certainly force things. Oh, we have an update on sheet A. That was 2 for Achilles Peel. That is tied at 6 after 6. A finally poised game there. All right, so we'll stick with our featured sheet for a little bit here and see. And the obvious call here is just to get rid of that yellow. Wherever your shooter ends up, that's just kind of gravy. This shot looks a little narrow. They're going to have to sweep this and hold this line. And they will.
Hold on.
They will, and the shooter will stay in the house. Yeah, just a perfectly fine result. They're going to force. I suppose ideally maybe it would have hung around the 4-foot, but in any case, Terry Smith has to either draw to the 4-foot or hit the red that's in the 8-foot and stick.
Now, the advantage of that last red stone drifting the way that it did is it split the house, so there's I don't know any way, using the laws of physics, that anyone could get a triple out of that.
Well, it wouldn't matter. He's got to score 1 no matter what.
Let's hope.
Yeah, he could draw. He doesn't have to take any of them out as long as he can draw.
True.
But it looks like he's going to take aim at the red rock that's easiest to hit and is shot, and would almost certainly leave him shot unless the shooter spills somewhere. So it's one of those dilemmas. Do you go for the draw that requires somewhat precise weight, or do you go for the takeout that requires precise line? It looks like he has actually gone for the draw, and this looks like it's going to be kind of good. If the sweepers should probably stop now.
They're stopping. They're stopping. Oh, no.
It stayed. They almost overswept that, but stopped it just in time.
Nice work. We're going to give the one to Techni Alipias. I'm going to put the scoreboard back up on your screen here. And can you reach that?
Yeah, I can reach that.
Thank you. Okay.
They managed to do that without falling through the glass onto the ice, which is a good thing.
Yeah, and without me falling over the chair face first. So thank you. Thank you very much. We've got a little bit of a crowded house here tonight. We've got friends and family here. There is another draw, so teams with the fifth draw of the day are coming in as well.
And some people just hanging out because this is the place to be.
Yes, it is. And there is a wonderful big trivia night to be hosted by our very own Scott Kaltenberg. Steve. Steve? All of a sudden. Mr. Kaltenberg. That part I remember. Good gracious. Okay, over the hog, drifting from the center line, so kind of a mid-center side guard there. Can make use of that.
We've got a question, do they have merch? We have merch for the club. I don't know that we have merch for Embassy Row itself, but of course we do have plenty of merch for the club. I have been known to wear my Potomac Curling Club shirt around town the town of Vienna, which is not particularly close to here.
And the Broom's Up gentleman was here. Ooh, just got past that guard. Let's take an overhead view.
Not quite sure what the call was there. Maybe if they were trying to... No, I have no idea. I have no idea what the call was there. I think it's still too early in the end to be getting rid of a guard.
Well, yes, and you've got the,
Maybe they were trying to wick that guard somewhere?
5-rock rule, or move it aside, or just get in behind it is what I would assume, but it just didn't work out that way. Concentrating here. Oh.
On sheet C, still fairly early in the end. Don't think there's a rock in the house. There are a couple that are back on the back line, so we don't know if one of them is biting. Christina Lessie is taking aim at a couple of guards, one or two. She's going to get one and send that straight out. So the red is now a center guard for Fellowship of the Rink. They don't really need a big score here. In fact, actually, it's one of those situations where you'd rather give up one and keep hammer. Oh, that is a hogline violation that's not going to be called.
Yeah.
He was well out over the hogline when he released that one.
I think it was because he was wobbling a little bit.
Yeah.
He's trying to get his balance and, not lose his balance, which we understand that completely.
Right.
Okay.
And it just bumps yellow into in there anyway. That's what,
the
really,
house.
according to the spirit of the game, that's one you should call.
Actually, if I am correct, that is the gentleman from Canada.
Oh.
Who has never played before in his life.
No kidding.
No kidding.
Wow.
I heard some folks talking, and I believe he said, yeah, his friend had complete faith in him. They had a spot, and he said, okay, I'll try it.
Okay. He's doing better than I did my first time.
Me too. And better than I'm doing currently.
And my second, and my third, and my fourth, and my, so.
Okay, that is going to take that out, and the shooter is also going to go out of play.
On sheet C, we had a draw from deep Tziki, and then J.R. Gross just took aim at that, wound up wrecking on the guard, but did remove that center guard, so.
Guess that should help.
Not the worst outcome. I mean, when you're up 3, you just don't want to give up anything too bad.
Mm-hmm.
So. This shot is going to take out our one that's in the house. Oh, in the 8 foot. Oh no, or it's not, or it is. It's not.
Flashed right by.
Thought it was going to curl more than it did. It did not curl at all.
Nope.
Sheet C, they are desperately trying to sweep a delivery for deep Tziki to get 2 rods in the house. I can actually see their overhead when I back up like that. They've sort of guarded their. No, I think they wanted that to be a center guard, and it's really between a center and a corner. J.R. Gross is trying to go straight up the middle, which of course in curling means you have to throw a significant amount of weight. He has thrown, looks like control weight. He is going to hit that one and make it go. The red one goes too, but that's okay. A blank would suit Fellowship with the rink just fine right here. Take 3 points. If you told me you're going to have 3 lead by 3 and have the hammer in the last end, I think most people would take that.
That was a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I really should be trying to pay attention on sheet A because that is a close game.
Mm-hmm.
And just again to recap, sheet C is the reason I keep focusing on it is because that is an A event semifinal. The winner of that plays Hip Hop Acropolis, our youngsters, in the A event final for the Embassy Row Championship. Sheets A and B, these are teams that are trying to stay in the C event. The winners would play at 9 a.m. tomorrow in the C event semifinals. The losers can come out here and drink with us. And on sheet A, they're yellow, which is Achilles Peel, by Howard Griffin. They have two in there. Kicking Your Asterisk has indeed changed its lineup again. By the way, Judy Rakusen is they're delivering the 4th rots for them, as she did in our last game. On sheet C, it looked like a pretty good guard, but it went farther than I thought and went out the back. So we have a wide open house now.
Ooh, is this going to curl back in? It's close to the sideline. Okay, it will.
It will, and I think, but it's going to go through.
All right.
So
it's out of the house, but still in play.
On sheet C, that was the first of David Schlonger's shots, the first skip rock. Michael Dobbs is talking over with J.R. Gross now. You have a wide open house, so a blank would suit you just fine. So what do? Do you take out one of those guards? I think that's the call. The worst case scenario would be that you jam it at the back and all of a sudden you open possibility for 2 to be there. On our feature game, that was a takeout.
Of that stone that was...
Of the one that was nearly out of play.
Out of the house, but wasn't out of play yet. Well, it is now.
Yeah. Well, this is...
I don't think that was the plan, though.
This is shaping up to be intriguing because we do have Techni Alipias line 2. Still plenty of rods to come. On sheet C, Michael Dobbs has targeted that guard, and it goes out and does not jam, and it is gone. So there is, at the absolute worst, they're going to give up a steal of 1 there, and that would involve a draw here that Michael Dobbs cannot get rid of. That is, of course, what David Schlager is going to attempt. He's going to draw around the 1 guard he has left and either force Michael Dobbs to 1 or force him to a difficult hit for the blank.
Okay. I'm not sure if you're able to see in this shot on your far right. That is a shot of the very young Oliver, 6 months old. Yes, he has earmuffs on to protect his little ears from the noise, and being held and soothed by Daddy. Oh, getting a quick kiss from Mommy, who's playing on sheet A. That's the true youngest curler we have.
And on sheet A, we just had a bit of a flash by Harry Griffin there, and there is 1 red still in play, and red has hammer. So it looks like we might be seeing a 2 for kicking your asterisk. I nearly said kicking your Achilles, which sounds very painful.
Yeah, ow.
As I was just doing my Achilles stretches, in fact, because I have bad Achilles.
Oliver has his PJs on.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So on sheet C, David Schlager's draw is not buried at all. It is in the top of the 12. I believe Michael and JR are just talking about where to hit it. Do you... is he going to go all out for the blank here? Looks like that's what he's doing. If he can hit just to the left of the rock that's in there. And I can tell you on sheet A, this is a draw for 2. It's going to wreck. Will it bump the yellow into scoring position? No. I don't think so. I think that is going to be 1 red, giving kicking your asterisk a 1-point lead, heading home into the 8th. On sheet C, again, our A event final. Michael Dobbs is throwing. This might flash. This might flash. Oh, it just nicks it. Just nicks it. So a steal of 1. They will still be up 2 with hammer, but boy, Michael Dobbs, being a bit of a perfectionist, did not want that to happen.
Over on sheet B, yellow is sitting 2. Again, we're up to skip rocks. The first, Mr. Gerbig's at the 7th end.
And he does have hammer.
And Strange Brew is up right now. Scoreboard, putting it back up on the screen for you. 5 to Techni Alipias 2.
I was incidentally completely wrong on sheet A. Yellow did score 1 somehow. So Achilles Peel is up 7-6. With that steal, they are without hammer. And on sheet B, that rock is going to stick around for shot. Obviously, I'm sure that's what is going to be targeted now by Terry Smith.
All right, and you did say Achilles Peel has 1 more.
Achilles Peel has 1 more. They threw their first one through, I think intentionally. The first rock from kicking your asterisk has drifted into the house. Howard is going to target that one.
And
sheet C is the only one that's in the 8th end, 8th and final end, and we'll update you when.
I'm sorry.
Oh, actually, sorry, two of ours are in the 8th end.
Oh yes, okay.
It's only our feature game that is not.
Okay, so Deep Tzatziki did get 1.
They did,
on
yes.
sheet
So
C.
that is
Okay.
8-6. Yep.
Apologies. Gotta catch up.
Yeah, it's all happening at once here. We have
3 good games going.
Of course, Terry Smith probably needs to hit this to prolong this one. This is only 5-2. Probably seems worse than it is when you see a bunch of numbers clustered together like that. It means you've given up some steals. Terry Smith, I think, is going to knock out his one in the back of the house. Or, well, no.
Ooh.
Or it's going to draw fairly well.
Nicely done.
Terry, he seemed quite unhappy with that for a moment, but then
realized that
then it's actually a fairly decent draw now if
it's called Plan B.
Plan B. I know Plan B is very well. Now, if Andrew Gerbig can draw on top of that one, then he will take one and take a 6-2 lead into the last.
Okay.
I think Andrew Gerbig has left this one out wide, and he has. It's going to flash past. Okay, so that's going to be a steal of one for Techni Alipias, which will keep them in the game, and they're still going to be down two without Hammer, which is the same situation we have on sheet C, actually.
Okay, the programming on the cameras assumed we had already changed to the 8th end. That's why I couldn't get you a close-up of the end of the 7th, and I apologize for that. It's a little programming glitch we are hopefully going to write out of the program. So
I'm going to try to keep a close eye on sheet A because they are farther along than the other games are, and also it's the hardest one for me to see from here. So I have to sort of keep an eye on it as it goes on. To repeat the situation, Achilles Peel stole one in the 7th. They are up 7-6. We are to the third rocks for each team. And here comes the third rock now for kicking your asterisk, which actually is line 2. Yellow has put 2 in the back there. Probably not ideal. So, and this one just goes and sits on top of the 4-foot. Carol Voss is going to have to move some granite here. And in fact, Howard Griffin puts up the universal sign for get this out of here.
okay, over on our feature sheet, we've got 3 sweepers working to get that yellow stone.
It will. That was overkill. That was overkill, Terry.
All right, a nice center guard.
And Carol is going to flash this one through.
Ooh.
And, yeah, that is. So this is shaping up to be a very difficult end for Howard Griffin's Achilles Peel. Not right now.
All right, here we are in our sheet B. We've got some sweepers going to work here. Oh, it's going to hit that center guard and just give it a little nudge. So we have 2 center guards at this time on our sheet B. And you can see on screen a little bit of the action over on sheet C. It's on your left.
Yeah, it's a whole bunch of guards.
Doesn't look like anything's in the house.
There is one in the house. It's one red.
Ah, near the back. It's close to where David Schlanger is standing.
Yes, and they have Hammer. Looks like J.R. Gross is targeting a couple of guards. He's not going to knock a yellow one into the house, so this is a low-risk shot. That actually worked out pretty well. It bumped out a yellow guard again that wasn't a promotion possibility anyway. It left red 2 promotion possibilities, and so they're in pretty good shape here. As we're about to see a wreck on a center guard on sheet B, I'm going to, again, go back over to sheet A. Yeah, looks like they threw a guard the red team that is. And a double takeout attempt got one of them. And the shooter rolled far enough away that it is not hampering things too much for Achilles Peel, but again, not the best situation for Achilles Peel right now. On sheet A, Dave Schlanger's team is attempting a draw here, trying to get into the house. Dave Schlanger comes out to sweep. I think it's going to get there. I don't know why Dave's out there. It's going to get there. It's going beyond the tee line, Dave. Show off. So that actually creates a little bit of problem, and actually Michael Dobbs is just going to get rid of that guard.
Okay, and back on sheet B, as you see, there is one red. And this is Pam Smith at the hack, getting ready. You can see a little bit of the folks over on A and C on either side. Now there goes J.R. Gross from sheet C. Here comes Pam, sheet B.
Wow, almost synchronized curling there.
Yes.
New Olympic sport.
And sheet A, Stone came out like right after. And is this going to take that out? Yes, it will. Will it stay in the house?
Nope.
No, it won't.
On sheet A, it's a nice little draw that actually scoots through a couple of rods. I have no idea how it found a path through all those rods and now wound up probably third. Probably third, so probably not exactly what they were hoping for, but not too bad. Howard Griffin, though, is going to say get rid of the one in the middle. He signals down to the other end for Rachel Byerly to do that.
Okay. Sheet B, Stone is coming on down the sheet, being escorted very politely by these gentlemen. Let's see if it's gonna, ooh. This needs to slow down.
On sheet A, the takeout attempt has been played very nicely there by Rachel Byerly, and now yellow actually is probably first and second, so things have improved a bit for yellow, which is up one without hammer. Not yet to skip rots there.
And on sheet B, you saw there's one red in the back eight, and now Techni Alipias. This is Pam Smith. Stone.
On sheet C, Michael Dobbs has just called for. I think it's the path of one of the Kennedy assassination conspiracy theories, where something goes off of something and then off of something else, and then. They're going to peel a guard. What happens beyond that, I think,
it's a mystery.
Is a bit of a mystery. Yes.
All right. Well, over on B, as you can see, red is still sitting shot, but we do have a yellow in close proximity. And here comes the next stone in on our feature sheet.
J.R. Gross has just thrown parking lot weight.
All right, overhead
boom,
view.
Boom, and, well, okay.
Oh, it just gave the Yellowstone like a little kiss, and now it's in the back 12. So still, red is sitting shot rock.
On sheet A, things are looking better for Howard Griffin's team, Achilles Peel, as a shot just went through and took out the yellow that was on the button, but the shooter rolled out. Howard now considering his options. This will be the first of the skip rots that Howard Griffin's going to deliver. He is, I'll try to look at the overhead. He does have shot right now. I think he's seeing if he can maybe guard the path to the button. He's having a good laugh over whatever he is.
All right, sheet B, this is Nick Stone heading down towards. So let me give you the overhead view. It's definitely coming into the house.
I think it's gonna be a good shot for them. It's a takeout, and they are line two.
Line two on sheet B.
If the end were to end right here, well, first of all, everyone would be very surprised. But secondly, we would have a tie game, and we would need to
go to Skip Rocks.
Go to Skip Rocks, I believe.
We've had a couple games, at least 2 today go to Skip Rocks.
Okay. I was not here for either of those.
Yeah.
Everything exciting happens when I'm not here, apparently.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, let me switch this here, and I'm going to flip right to the house view, because here comes that stone with ramming speed, as you like to say.
Almost a double takeout, but
Well, it took out the, and moved the yellow back,
right.
so now it's in the back 12. It's still 1 yellow.
Yeah. On sheet C, we have David Schlonger's first delivery. He's trying to get through a port and get into the center. Well, I don't know about that. He just bumped up. He just promoted a red rock.
Into second position.
Into second position. Michael Dodds has hammer here. I think he's just maybe seeing what he can get out of there and make it especially difficult for David Schlonger. So this is going to be difficult now because we have 3 games that have all sort of caught up to each other now.
Uh-oh, this may...
But yeah, that took out their own, although it did leave them shot.
Yeah, that was not the plan.
Yeah.
For a moment there, I thought it was going to flash through that little bitty port between the 2 on sheet B, but it did not.
On sheet A, Howard, who is now making funny faces at the baby and making him laugh, along with Howard. But he did put a shot into the 4-foot.
Okay, let me switch to the overhead.
And boom, out goes the yellow, and yellow is yellow's about to run out of rots here. They've got 2 rots left. They're going to have to put both of them in scoring position and leave them there to force this to skip rots.
Yes, on B, as you see, there is 2 red. Skip, Terry Smith, and Vice, Nick are discussing strategy, as you can see.
On A, the first of the deliveries now for Judy Rakusin for kicking your asterisk. Well, with fairly big weight, although, no, it looks like she's trying to get this nestled in next to the yellows that are crowding the 4-foot. I think it's going to over-curl. I don't know, there are people in my way, and no, actually it knocked out the yellow, and so it is on the button, and that is going to be a difficult one for Howard to remove, I think. I don't know. I'm doing sort of a tango with Andrew Gerbig, I believe, at this point, trying to see that. I think it's a tango. I'm not sure. What happens when you on C? Michael Dodds and J.R. Gross are negotiating a peace treaty.
But wait, they're on the same team.
They are on the same team, yes. But the negotiations over this shot continue far into the night. Howard Griffin now leading by 1, a really congested house, a lot of traffic at the back. Howard has second shot.
Okay, some good sweeping happening here on B. They're getting it into the house. Front 4. Very nicely swept. Good job on our sweepers.
Needing 2 to stay alive. Howard Griffin's delivery now on the way. An upweight shot that I think is drifting and going to wreck on the guard or not. It gets past, but it doesn't really nudge the red far enough. Red is going to have shot there. This is going to be a shot for the win for Judy Rakusin and kicking your asterisk. Not an easy shot for the win. Certainly line 1. At worst, this will go to skip rots. On sheet C, I have no idea. It looks like Michael has gone for a promotion. Run back, boom, yellow goes out, and that should just about do it. Really nice shot there. Michael gives Christine a big hug.
Okay, there's still a couple more stones remaining. More skip rocks on sheet C.
Well, just 1. Well, oh no, it's handshakes. Because, yeah, David Schwager would have had to, yeah, he would have right now red is line 2. He would have had to knock a yellow into scoring position and get the shooter in scoring position, which is difficult when you've got a red rock on the forefoot. So that is a win for Fellowship of the Rink. They did not finish the last end, so we'll just call it 8-6. So your final tomorrow will be Fellowship of the Rink. Michael Dobbs, J.R. Gross, Christina Lessie, and whoever was substituting there for Heidi Gross versus Hip Hop Acropolis, Andy Dunham, George Shirk, Jeremy Unterborn, and Gilad Kemperich. That will be, again, our final tomorrow at noon. But we have a lot more going on here. These are call them C event quarterfinals, basically. As Duke apparently has run a kickoff back for a touchdown at C on ESPN, which is nice, but their season's done.
That's a shame.
All right, final rock now on the way. On red, on sheet A, Judy Rakusin trying to get this one in to score 2 and end this game. Has to get through and stick to a yellow. If she could bump that yellow a good ways, it could be more than 2, but 2 would be enough to win it. And
Ooh.
I think she did. I think the backing, yes, that's handshakes. Yeah, it stopped on the backing. That was just enough. That's going to be 2 for red, 2 for kicking your asterisk. Wins a really tight and interesting 8-7 game over Achilles Peel. Howard Griffin, all smiles, ever the gentleman, one of the wonderful people of this club.
Okay.
So our feature game is the last one here, and
which is unusual.
that is unusual.
Oddly enough, it's usually the other way around.
Right. Terry Smith needs to get this one to stay in play and then have neither of his be hit out. It looks like he's going to try.
Okay.
If he can freeze this one to the red.
Yes, please.
He is freezing this one to the red. This actually looks like this is a decent shot.
Ooh, sorry. Nudge, nudge, don't go too far.
No, that's
okay.
very good.
2 are in scoring position.
All right.
4, Techni Alipias.
So,
Alipias, sorry.
And Strange Brew, this game really caught up to the other 2 games when there were some long discussions on sheets A and C. Well, we are only 18 minutes now from the start of our next draw, but we have 1 or 3 shots remaining in this session. It all depends on whether Mr. Gerbig here is able to dislodge one of these yellows or draw in front of one of them. He could freeze the yellow that is back. Well,
Ooh, or he may miss all of them. I'm not sure.
If it curls a bit more, he's fine.
Let's look at the house.
If
Let's
it curls
look at
a
the
bit
house
more,
view.
he's fine. Well,
oh
no, the red's fell too far. We are going to skip rocks.
We are indeed.
Oh my goodness.
Techni Alipias.
What a huge comeback. Down 5-1 after 5 ends. And then got one with a hammer in 6, stole one in 7, and stole 2. What an improbable sequence of events. And we are going to skip rocks.
Indeed we are.
My goodness. And David Zimmerman has retracted 3 messages. Now you're spoiling the fun there, David. So.
What?
Let me tell you what's going on in our next session really quickly. We have 2 B event semifinals. On sheet A, it'll be Hero Draw with Courtney Shaw as the skip versus Team Fearon with Jeffrey Fearon as the skip. The other B semifinal, Single Barrel with Daphne Roberts as the skip. That's from Pittsburgh. It is a Pennsylvania rivalry. They're going up against Philadelphia, Bucks County, Potomac. That's Children of Dionysus. Those are our B event semifinals on A and D. Our feature game will be on sheet C, where you can see the young wizard Diana Black skipping Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again against It's All Greek to Me from Diamond State. That is a C event quarterfinal, just as we have in action right here. And then on sheet C, it's Team Assertion, skipped by Joe Assertion. The lead is our wizard of the webcast, Ken Clark, up against T-Lines and Rink Ladies from Diamond State, skipped by Brian Hoofy?
I'm told it was Ufe.
Ufe. Ufe,
Oh,
cool.
no, Ufi. I'm sorry.
Ufi. Okay.
All
On
right.
our skip rock there, the sweepers are on this one quite a bit. This is for Techni Alipias. This is Terry Smith's delivery. Sweepers are on it. I think they're
Trying to
doing pretty
encourage
well.
it.
They should probably.
Stop. Right about-
My
Oh,
goodness.
wow. A near perfect shot. That is great.
I don't even know how you measure that because it is covering the pin.
Most of it.
Yeah.
All right. They're going to do a little bit of a memory.
Yeah. I guess if this one also covers the pin, then we will have
Yeah.
a chat. But yeah, that a good percentage of that was covering the pin.
Okay.
So no pressure on this one for Andrew Gerbig, as Techni Alipias can be completing a rather remarkable comeback.
Yes.
Again,
All right,
down
here we're
5-1
looking.
heading into the 6th.
All right.
This
Uh-oh.
looks heavy. This one,
This
it's gone.
looks
And
heavy.
the miracle comeback is complete for Techni Alipias. What a game. Well, that wraps up our 6 o'clock draw.
And I have to run and announce some quiz winners, so
Okay.
I'll be back later.
All right. Have you shut off this the broadcast? All right. Well, I'll just chat for a while till we get to the next session, because I think we started a stream for that. All right. So all the young people in here are doing young person stretches. Well, no, one of them looks like something I would do too. All right, Janine is going to announce some quiz winners. Are we going to announce one? We're going to announce one on the webcast. Oh,
I have more
we're gonna announce it.
entries.
All right. We're up to 13 now on the session, which is interesting considering we just finished. We usually start a new stream for every webcast. So just, but thank you for hanging out with us, as I guess everyone here entered the trivia contest and wants to see how they did. Yeah, we were announcing the trip. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were still on for you to announce the winners.
Want me to take it down?